Let me tell you something. You are one conversation away from changing your entire life. And I'm not talking about a conversation with your boss or your partner or your friend. I'm talking about the conversation you're having with yourself. The one that happens in your head when no one's around, when it's just you and your thoughts. That voice, it's either building your future or destroying your confidence. And for most people, it's doing way more damage than they even realize. You want to change your life in 3 days? Talk to yourself differently. I dare you. For 3 days, just start speaking to yourself like someone you actually like someone you believe in. Talk to yourself like you talk to the people you love the most. Because the truth is, most of us talk to ourselves like we're the enemy. We beat ourselves up. We replay mistakes. We criticize everything, how we look, what we said, what we didn't do, what we should have done. And then we wonder why we feel stuck, why we're anxious, why we have no confidence. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not behind. You're just stuck in a cycle of toxic self-talk, and that stops now. For the next 3 days, I want you to wake up and say this to yourself. I'm proud of you. That's right. Even if you feel like a mess, even if you're still figuring things out, even if yesterday was a disaster, say it, I'm proud of you, because you're still here. You're still trying, you haven't given up, and that matters. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, I'm not good enough, I'll never figure this out, I'm such a failure, I want you to stop and say, no, that's not who I am. I am learning, I am growing, I am doing the best I can, and that's enough today. Do that for 3 days. I'm serious. Talk to yourself like someone who is becoming the person they've always wanted to be. When you look in the mirror, don't just pick apart your flaws. I want you to look at yourself and say, I love you. I've got your back. We're doing this together. Because you know what? You are with you for the rest of your life. So it's about time you started being a better teammate to yourself. You don't need a fancy routine or some magical formula. You just need to change the tone of that voice in your head. Your words matter. Your thoughts shape your reality. And when you start talking to yourself with love, with belief, with patience, you start showing up differently. You walk taller. You breathe deeper. You stop shrinking. You start choosing things that reflect your worth. Do it for 3 days, just 3. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how your decisions change. Watch how you start feeling alive again. Because when you speak to yourself with power, with love, with truth, you stop waiting for the world to tell you who you are. You decide. And that right there, that changes everything. Let me be brutally honest with you. Your inner voice is either the loudest cheerleader in your life or the biggest bully you'll ever meet. And for most people, that voice, it's mean, it's cruel. It's running nonstop commentary on everything you do, and not in a supportive, uplifting kind of way. No, it's more like, you're not good enough. Why even try? You always mess things up. And if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. We've all got that voice. But here's the truth no one tells you. You are the only one who can change it. That voice inside your head, it's powerful. It shapes how you see yourself. It dictates what risks you take, what chances you skip, and whether or not you even believe you deserve happiness. Your inner dialogue is setting the tone for your life every single day. You can have all the talent in the world, all the tools, all the potential, but if your inner voice is constantly tearing you down, you'll never use any of it. Let me tell you a little secret I've learned the hard way. You will never rise above the way you speak to yourself. Never. And that's why your inner voice is everything. It's not just your thoughts. It's your identity. It's who you think you are. And if that inner monologue is toxic, negative, and full of doubt, you start living like someone who is unworthy, even when that's the farthest thing from the truth. But here's the best part. You can reprogram it. You can interrupt that voice and replace it with something more honest, more kind, and way more powerful. That doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect or sugarcoating reality. It means choosing to talk to yourself the way someone who believes in you would. Someone who sees your potential. Someone who knows you've got what it takes. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning and instead of, ugh, another day, you say, let's go. I've got this. Instead of looking in the mirror and thinking, you look awful, you say, you're strong, you're capable, you're still standing, and I'm proud of you. You know how different your day would feel, how different you would feel? You see, your brain believes what you tell it the most. So if all you're feeding it is negativity, it starts to create a reality around that. It becomes your filter. But when you feed it with confidence, belief, encouragement, suddenly the filter shifts. You see opportunities instead of problems. You feel hope instead of fear. You start to act like the person you actually are, not the one your inner critic invented. And don't tell me it won't work. Don't tell me that's just how I am. No, that's how you've trained yourself to think. But training can be undone. You can build a new habit. You can take back control of your thoughts. All it takes is awareness, intention, and practice. So stop letting your inner critic run the show. That voice doesn't get to decide who you are. You do. And the moment you start speaking to yourself like someone worth fighting for, that's the moment your entire life begins to shift. You know what's wild? Most of us are walking around every day, hustling, grinding, checking boxes, surviving, and we never stop to say something as simple and powerful as, I'm proud of you. Like, when was the last time you looked in the mirror? Not to judge yourself, not to critique, but just to say, hey, I'm proud of you for making it through everything you've faced. For most people, the answer is never. And that's the problem, because if you can't recognize your own effort, your own resilience, your own growth, who will? We live in a culture where you only get to be proud after you've accomplished something big, after the degree, after the job, after the six-pack, after the relationship. But what about the days you didn't quit? The mornings you got out of bed when it felt impossible. The times you showed up when your heart was heavy or your mind was full of fear. That's the real victory. That's the stuff to be proud of. And yet we ignore it. We withhold love and recognition from ourselves until we deserve it. But here's the truth. You already do. Telling yourself I'm proud of you isn't about ego. It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about acknowledgement. It's about giving yourself the emotional nourishment you've probably been starving for, because we're all out here giving encouragement to everyone else, our friends, our kids, our coworkers. But what about you? What about the inner you that's been doing the best she can? She deserves to hear it too. And let me tell you, when you start talking to yourself that way, even if it feels weird at first, something powerful starts to shift. Your body hears it, your brain starts to calm down. You stop operating from this place of panic or pressure, and instead you start tapping into pride and purpose, and that fuels momentum. You see, pride isn't just a feeling, it's fuel. When you say, I'm proud of how I handled that, or I'm proud I didn't give up today, what you're really doing is reinforcing the behavior you want more of. You're building confidence. And confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build by proving to yourself day after day that you're worthy of your own trust and respect. So for the next 3 days, I want you to say it, even if you don't fully believe it yet, I'm proud of you. Say it when you wake up, say it after you get through something tough, say it when you make a good choice, or even when you mess up but keep going anyway. Because that voice, it matters. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes your new reality. You are your longest commitment. You are your own biggest project, and you need to hear from you that you're doing okay, that you're still in the fight, that you're growing, that you're worth celebrating, not someday, but right now. Most people don't even realize how automatic their negative self-talk is. It's like a background program running all day long, silently draining your confidence, sabotaging your focus, and shrinking your belief in yourself. It's sneaky. It shows up when you make a mistake. Ugh, I'm such an idiot. It shows up when you're about to take a risk. I'm not good enough. I'll probably mess this up anyway. And it shows up when you look in the mirror. Look at me. Who would even want this? That's not harmless. That's not normal. That's programming. And the good news, you can reprogram it. You have the power to interrupt that loop and choose something else. Every single thought you think creates a chemical reaction in your body. Every single word you say to yourself creates momentum, either forward or backward. And you know what? Most of the thoughts we think aren't even true. They're just patterns, stories, loops that started years ago and keep replaying because we've never hit the pause button. Well, this is your moment. This is where it changes. Because here's the thing. You can't stop negative thoughts from popping up. That's just part of being human. But what you can do is interrupt them. You can catch the thought, I always fail, and say, no, that's not true. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I've survived 100% of my worst days so far. You can flip the script, and yes, it takes practice. Yes, it'll feel fake at first, but guess what? So did driving a car the first time you tried it. So did writing your name in cursive. Everything feels awkward before it feels automatic. But that doesn't mean it's not working. It means your brain is literally rewiring, and that's what you want. So let's say you're walking into a job interview or standing in front of a mirror before a date or just trying to get through a hard day. Your brain starts throwing garbage at you. You're not ready. You're not pretty enough. You're going to mess this up. In that moment, don't let it run wild. Interrupt it out loud if you have to. Say, stop. I am prepared. I am worthy. I've got this. And you repeat it even if your voice shakes, even if your heart is racing, because the repetition of truth is what rewires the lies. You have to be louder than your limiting beliefs. You have to speak back. That's how confidence is built, not through some magical moment of motivation, but through thousands of tiny moments where you choose to talk to yourself differently. Start small. Choose a phrase that lights you up. Maybe it's, I can figure this out. Maybe it's, I'm doing my best and that's enough today. Maybe it's just, I'm okay. I've got my own back. And you say it over and over again until it becomes your default, because the voice in your head, that's the one you hear the most. Make sure it's one worth listening to. Have you ever noticed how different your energy is when you're around someone who's just positive? I'm not talking about fake smiles or forced good vibes only nonsense. I mean real, grounded, authentic positivity, the kind that feels light, powerful, contagious. It makes you want to be better. It lifts the room. It changes the whole damn atmosphere. Now flip that. Think about how draining it is when someone's constantly complaining, criticizing, gossiping, or just flat out negative. You can literally feel it in your body. That's not just energy, it's a choice. And guess what? You get to make that same choice every single day. Your energy isn't random. It's not this invisible thing that just happens to you. It's created by how you think, how you speak, and how you show up. So if you've been walking around feeling heavy, stuck, low, it's time to look at the words coming out of your mouth and the thoughts looping in your mind, because negativity, it's a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. Now let's be real. Life is hard sometimes. People are messy. Situations can suck. You're going to have bad days. That's not what this is about. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything's okay. It means choosing how you respond to it. It means saying, yeah, this is tough, but I can handle it. It means training yourself to find something, anything good, even in the middle of chaos. You want to change how you feel? Start by changing how you talk. Start noticing your language. Are you constantly saying things like, I'm so tired, nothing ever works out for me, I can't catch a break? That's not just venting, that's reinforcing. Every time you say it, you're cementing that energy in place. And the brain, oh, the brain loves to prove you right. So it'll start scanning your day for more reasons to believe you're stuck or that life is against you. But when you flip it, even just a little, you create space. You start saying things like, today's challenging, but I'm still moving, or I've handled worse and I'm getting stronger. Or even just, this sucks, but it's not going to stop me. Now your brain starts scanning for resilience, for strength, for grit. And that's the kind of energy that shifts your entire vibe. This is not about being naive or living in denial. It's about taking ownership. Because when you choose to shift your energy, people feel it. Doors open, conversations change, you show up differently in relationships, at work, even when you're alone. You stop attracting drama and start attracting alignment. You want to be magnetic. You want to attract opportunities, people, peace. Watch your energy. Guard it. Cultivate it. Speak to yourself like someone who's on her way somewhere amazing. Because when your inner world shifts, your outer world has no choice but to follow. That's not fluff. That's science. That's psychology. That's real life. Your energy is your responsibility. Your energy is your power. Choose it wisely, and the world around you will start to reflect that choice every single time. If I told you that just 3 days of intentional self-talk could change the way you walk, talk, and show up in your life, would you believe me? Probably not, because most of us are trained to think that real change takes forever, that we need some huge breakthrough or rock bottom moment before we finally shift our lives. But I'm here to tell you something that I've lived, something I've taught to millions, and something backed by science. The way you talk to yourself today can absolutely change who you become tomorrow. Let me explain. The words you speak to yourself, those quiet, constant whispers in your mind, are everything. They dictate how you feel when you look in the mirror. They control how you bounce back when life punches you in the gut. They influence whether you go after the opportunity or stay stuck in fear. And here's the kicker. Your brain believes what you tell it repeatedly. So when you start telling it something different, even for just 3 days, you're not just changing your mood. You're literally changing your neural pathways. This isn't hype. It's neuroplasticity. And it's how you take back your power. Now, when I say talk to yourself, I don't mean fluffy affirmations you don't believe. I'm talking about intentional, conscious, empowering self-talk that meets you where you are and pushes you forward. You wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you say, I am proud of you. Even if you don't feel it yet, you say, you're trying, you're still standing, I see you. And you say it again tomorrow. And the next day, and on the third day, something inside you starts to shift. Why 3 days? Because consistency, even in short bursts, is transformational. For the first time, you interrupt the autopilot loop of criticism and fear, and every time you repeat those new words, your brain starts to rewire. You begin to walk with a little more strength. You make eye contact. You stop second guessing every little thing you say. You start feeling this grounded kind of confidence, not loud, not flashy, but real. And that energy, people feel it. You don't even have to say you've been working on yourself. They'll sense it in how you carry yourself, how you enter a room, how you respond when things go sideways. You'll begin to show up like someone who knows her worth instead of someone constantly trying to prove it. And that's the kind of shift that doesn't just change your day, it changes your life. I've seen people leave toxic relationships after 3 days of talking to themselves with respect. I've seen women stand up for themselves in boardrooms, in breakups, in their own damn lives, just because they finally decided to believe